Hey YouTube, Coffee Dude 65. I know the lighting sucks and I haven't done a video forever, but I'm going to try to go into it. It's going to probably be a long video, but I'm going to try to short. This is like the 10th time I've tried this. So anyway, I want to start. I'll try to lighten this up. I don't know if I can. But anyway, I'll try to start at the beginning. Which, let's go back to the original days of TPA when I left. Now, when I left YouTube before, I did not leave on purpose. Life got in the way. Very short, brief explanation. I did most of my videos at work. And we changed companies 2 or 3 times over in the latter part of when I was doing videos. And my boss, I'm going to change the names, but I'm going to call him Jim. He was really cool. We got along well. We were an excellent team. He left and went to another company in Texas. We got an interim boss who we'll call John. Now, I known John a long time and worked with him many times. Great guy. That's important to the story. But anyway, John leaves and we get A-hole, the last boss. And we just didn't see eye to eye. I mean, it was terrible. You hear terms about toxic work environment and this and that. It was that and then some. Now, corporate was okay. But I just kept running afoul of this guy. And also at the same time, now this is roughly 2010, I think. Now I had stopped making videos a lot before this time period because I left in 2010 from my job. I had gotten out of the habit of YouTube probably in 2008 when Obama was first elected. My God, I can't believe it. Anyway, okay. So at the same time, when I left work, I also left because my mother was needing more and more help at home. And got to the point where I couldn't serve 2 masters. Plus, I hated my boss. And I had gotten out of the habit of YouTube. No one knew that I did YouTube at work. And in the early days, it wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have mattered. But later on, it would have. Anyway, okay, fast forward to I quit. I'm not going to go into all the details because there's like 100 reasons that led up. I quit work. And I intended on going back to work somewhere else part-time doing something. Okay? That never happened. Alright? So I stayed home with my mother and took care of her as her health progressively declined over the years until May of this year when she passed in the hospital. And it's been a tough year, okay? So, now here's the weird part. This is the long, weird part. Some people that I'm in touch with on Facebook, there's a group I'm in, a caregiver group, and plus Sherry, thank you very much. I think she knows this. Mark, I think you know this too, bro. Maybe, I'm not sure. But I've been talking about divine providence. And this is why. Okay, and I'm going to try to be brief. I'm already up to almost 5 minutes, and I'm going to try to be very brief about this. Last year, I saw where the plant I worked, I was quality control, food safety manager underneath the manager of the facility. And it closed when the pandemic hit. They shut her down. I was gone, long gone by then. Anyway, I saw they were working on it. doing a lot of renovation on it. And I thought to myself, and I told my mom at the time, hey, they're working on the old plant down there. And I said, there's no way it's going to open up in a similar business. I live in a small town, small plant, but did huge revenues, and at the time it was basically ingredients. I won't go into details. Anyway, the thing is, they started doing work on it. Well, I would kind of, keep my eye on it, see what happens and everything. I didn't know what it was going to be. Extensive. It's a very old building. It was built after the war in the 40s. Okay. Now, we had it, when I worked there, the inside was nice enough and it was adequate. But, they just tearing it, from almost rebuilding it from inside out. Anyway, fast forward to, I've been watching it, okay. In May of this year, when my mother went in the hospital, when she was still there at the hospital, we thought things were going to go okay, but they didn't. But she was there for like 3 weeks. Anyway, I saw the sign of what it's going to be. And lo and behold, it was going to be a food manufacturing facility similar to what I came from. So I Googled the name, and I found out that it's going to be opened under John, as I mentioned, and a couple other people that I know, and some new people. So this was so bizarre. Alright, so long story short, I managed to use all my powers of stalking on the internet to find how to get in touch with John. First, I tried to get in touch with Jim. Jim did not answer me, so I don't know what the hell. I found his email fairly easily. John took some doing. I had to go through LinkedIn. I had to join a group on LinkedIn, so I didn't have to pay the fee. Anyway, long story short, I got a hold of John, and I'm going back to work in September. Now, I probably won't be in the management position that I was in, which is fine. I've been, as my father used to say, jerked to a knothole over the last year, and it's a high-pressure job. So, I'm happy to be able to go back in the field that I was in, food safety, quality control, some laboratory analysis, things like that. And I've met the woman that has my job, essentially. She seems really good, really nice, very knowledgeable. Long story short, though, there's been so many things that's happened. The fact that they're opening it up in my town again, the fact that John is coming back and opening it up through the company that Jim went to and John had worked to before and that I never worked at. But it's crazy. Here's another thing, real quick, is that meanwhile, I've been noticing all these things in my life. Now, I'm sure there's things that I haven't noticed, and I'm sure there's things that are just plain coincidences, but the entire story is there's nothing short of divine providence. Okay, I'm not getting churchy, I'm not turning into a Jesus freak or anything, never been an atheist, but I'm just starting to sort of see things that there is pieces and puzzles, and it comes together at times. It might not seem like it. I went through a decade of life where it didn't seem like anything was positive. But so my sister, one of my nieces, and sometimes my nephew, they are really involved in the church. I'm going to talk about the church later, but so after Mom passed and everything, I thought, I ain't got nothing to do. Okay, I went from a caregiver, not being able to do much social life, to having just incredible amounts of time. Plus, I need a job now. I've lived off of my savings and my mother's income, which was social and some pensions and things like that. We managed just fine. We're not paupers, but we were able to get by. We're not rich either. But now, you know, reality's hitting in with monthly bills and inflation and all of this stuff and so on. Anyway, I'm watching the clock here. I'm trying to sum up. I go to church, and it was a special deal. I don't know that much. When I go to church, I go to the Catholic Church, and like I said, I'm going to discuss this in another video because I'm running very short of time. Anyway, and I judge no one for whatever denominations, whatever religion. I think it all springs from the same force, kind of like Star Wars. I think it's there. I think it manifests itself to different people in different ways. Anyway, I go to church. We're doing this Corpus Christi thing, and you kind of go on this procession, and you kind of walk around town and so on. Anyway, I was standing there getting ready to do this, and I bumped into another guy, and we were like shocked because we worked together all those years ago. Never knew he went to that church. And we hugged and later talked about possibilities of going back to that place to work. And so I saw him. Another friend of mine from work, I met him at work, but I know him, his brother, their families. They're very good people. They're just wonderful people. They're Mexicans and not Hispanics, because one of them told me one time, I'm not Hispanic, I'm Mexican. I don't like the term Hispanic. I am a Mexican, and I respect that. So anyway, one of the brothers I sold my father's old truck to more than that, 5 years ago. But we're friends. And I see him occasionally. Occasionally comes to the house. Not too often, but once in a while he'll drop in. And I also, when I was driving by this plant that they're doing all this work on, there's my dad's truck sitting there. He's working there. I stopped in one day. I didn't go in the office that day, but I stopped in there and talked to him and told him, and he was just telling me, yeah, man, they're opening back and this and that. And I told him, I'll go try to talk to John and see how things go and all this. So there's more things, and I can't do it all in 15 minutes, but there have been so many things that's happened, you know, and I can talk about now. It's been tough, you know. I mean, my mother was 85 and she was in poor health, but that doesn't make it any easier on me, because, you know, my entire life for the last decade especially has been single-minded purpose of being caregiver. Plus, she's my mother. I mean, what do you say, right? It's hard when I lost my dad. That was kind of a surprise. It was kind of unexpected with Dad, but that was '09. But anyway, that had something to do with me kind of leaving YouTube too. I just had too much going on. Anyway, that's it. I've only got like a few seconds left to get this into one video. So this is the new setup. This is my new office that I'm working on. I got a lot of work going on at the house, which is now my house, and, you know, unfortunately. But so I'm doing some work. I'm changing rooms, decluttering, going to the recycling center once a week almost. And anyway, that's it for now. So this is a long, short version of the catch-up, trying to explain my starts and stops on YouTube and so on and so forth. So I'm going to try to get a webcam again. I'm out of time. Anyway, that's it. Peace.